Hello, my name is Reba Harrison, and we are the Kenya team that went to Chukumeru, South Kenya this year in June, and we would like to talk to you a little bit about our trip and our experiences this year. We had some new people that went, and we want to hear from them, their insights on their trip.
What did you guys think about the schools when you were there?
It's just completely different from what it is here. Like, there's no concrete, it's all mud, and the kids just like run out of their classrooms to see you.
I was kind of amazed the first time I went. There's just a building with a structure with dirt floors and usually dirt walls and windows with no glass in them, and there's no electricity, and the kids are sitting at desks about half the size of this, and there's 3 children usually crammed to one desk, just sitting there sharing everything.
Mm-hmm. But we really have a good time, and we stand up in front of the class and we let them ask us questions, so we get to know, or they get to find out about us and what we like and what it's like to live in America. And that's always
they
really
like
cool.
to know what kind of foods do we eat, and you know, what does our school look like, and
They're very curious about the
very
government
curious. Yep.
and our crops, what kind of crops
Yes.
we grow.
And also, they're very well behaved when we first get there.
Yes.
And they're very mannerly and sitting down, but the minute we pop out those balloons
Have a good
and throw them up in the air to try to keep them off the dirt floor, they all join in and the teacher loses control of the class. And we apologize
We do
when we
apologize
leave,
for that.
but they have fun.
They do
They're
have fun.
laughing and have fun.
They love to high five. They love to, you know, just touch us or touch our hair.
And they love selfies.
They do love selfies. They know cameras and they know smartphones. So
Well, one of the things when we went to the preschool, they asked how many people have ever seen a Mzungu, which means white person. And there was about, in each class, there was probably maybe 2 children that have ever seen a white person before. So when we walked in, it was almost like an alien walking into their classroom. Their eyes got big and a lot of them just stared at us, and we would be talking and they would just be staring at us, which was really kind of funny.
And even though they speak English and they understand English, our Southern English might not be the best for them.
Right.
We have to talk a little slower so they can understand.
they love to
And
speak
they
English
think
with us,
that
though.
we talk through our nose, so they try to do, when they try to talk like we do, they do like this because that's what they hear. And it's so funny
That
too
is funny.
because Humphrey says it's really hard to tell us apart because we all look alike.
Yeah. So on this trip, our child that we were sponsoring before has graduated out of the program, so we got a new child this year. So that was really neat. It was a really cool experience that we were able to do. We actually picked a child. We afterwards, Humphrey helped me decide on who to choose, and then Naaman took me to his house, and we got to see where he lived and who he lived with, and that was really,
that was an awesome
that was
experience.
a very special time.
Yeah, it was very special. I was happy that I got to be able
Yeah,
to
and we
attend
did
that
scare
too.
him too. He had never met Mzungus
That's
before.
very true. That's very
And now
true.
he has a whole family.
And
so.
his mama wasn't very happy, or was that his
Grandmother.
Wasn't very happy that we came unannounced.
Unannounced.
Yeah.
Yes, she did not like the unannounced visit, but it was special getting to actually see his house because
Yeah.
I wasn't able to do that with the other child we had.
And that is one thing, when you go to visit someone's house, it is immaculate. The yard, they don't really have a yard, it's dirt, but the leaves are all swept up and it's usually got no limbs. It's very nice. I know that I got a special treat this time because one of the men had asked me to come visit his house for the past 4 or 5 years, and I just wasn't comfortable. And last year, the last day, I said, Humphrey, first thing on the agenda, we're going to go to visit Julius.
Did
And
you jump out of your comfort zone
Yes,
and
I
get
did.
the magic?
Yes, I did. And we went to his house. His child is sponsored by Anna and Tom Brown, and he's the man that has the polio, has the braces, and we got him some new braces. And if you notice on the table, he is the one that made me a hut like he used to live in. And if you could see inside of it, there's a bed with some kind of animal hair blanket, and there's a place for a fire and some food. So that's what he gave me. And at the last minute, I got Tracy to go with me, and we stopped by and picked him up some stuff that was in a backpack. We got him a blanket and a sweatshirt, and you would have thought he won the lottery. I mean, he was very grateful.
That was another very special moment that I was very blessed to be able to.
Tell about our next door neighbor.
So there was a woman in the hut next door, and it was just literally a one-room little hut, no room at all. And as we were leaving, actually, she said, come in here, and her son, she had a son 16 years old and bedridden. I mean, I think we discovered that he has cerebral palsy. Can't walk, can't speak. So
In a dark room.
in a very dark room, she really can't even work to make money because she can't leave him alone. So she wondered if we would be able to help her, and I think that there's a possibility that we might be able to
It's more than
do
a
some good for him.
It's more than a possibility, because after we got back, Myra Jean went over, and she went into the container, got him a wheelchair. When she took it, she noticed that he was really rigid, and he's only about maybe 3 feet, and 3 feet in length
She let us take
altogether.
pictures of him, which was
And so Myra got him a wheelchair, got him 2 pillows, and I sent him over one of those baby mobile things that shines lights and pictures up on the wall, and we took 4 sets of batteries so he can at least lay in his bed and see. So we've already done some things to help that little fella out.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yep, I just found out
Yeah.
because Myra got back about a week and a half ago.
Oh my goodness.
That's cool.
Everybody.
Alex, have you ever been allowed in a bouncy house with no supervision?
With no safety
It
precautions.
didn't even have like nets or anything on the wall.
Right.
Yeah, but that almost sounds it's like throwing kids around. I mean,
But that was
We're
fun,
throwing
wasn't
kids
it?
around.
You would
They
hear these
loved it.
screams, and it was Alex picking up these little kids and throwing them around.
Right.
It's like, I don't think they've ever been treated like that
And they were all
before.
screaming, but they were screaming with laughter.
They loved it.
And joy.
The amazing thing about Praise is he could tell who everybody was. He would come up and he would just feel your arm. And he could tell exactly who you were, and he would call your name out. He knew every one of us by name just by feeling our arm. And one time we did a little trick. We put him up on the steps of one of the children's homes, and we stood Alex and Drew, my 2 boys who are very similar, and we set them down at the end of the sidewalk. And Praise maneuvered down the steps without any trouble, and he went straight over to the boys, and he touched them, and he picked out Alex and brought Alex back. And so it was and that was like on day 2. So it was kind of amazing how he could just tell who we were. And he runs around like he's not even blind.
He's really a remarkable kid because he has learned to adapt very quickly, and he's very good at it. And the other kids do a great job of helping him out and looking out for him. I just think it's incredible. That kid is a miracle.
And when anything is out of place, or like we had our van there, that when we pulled up in our van, he wasn't used to the van being there, and he bammed right into the van, went on the ground, got up, and started off again. He just kept going.
Never stopped.
It didn't faze him at all. He knows the ground in the compound, and he can get around very, very easy.
One of the funniest things I saw is I was walking into the younger children's home to get Pauline, and I saw in the back children's room, I saw something moving, and it's like, what is going on? And I stood there, and there was a child climbing up through and they were hanging off the wrought iron windows and jumping over onto the bed and getting something and coming back down. And so I decided to go and investigate who was climbing in the windows, and it was Praise. He was in the house all by himself, and he wanted a balloon that was on the top bunk of his bed, and he knew where it was, and he went into his room, he jumped up on the bed, he climbed onto the window, went up on the wrought iron, and got over to the top bunk and got what he wanted. So there's nothing keeping that child
That's
away
right,
from
nothing
anything.
will stop that kid.
I think that everyone needs to know, though, how you go to such a foreign land, and it's so different, but instantly, I know that it was your first trip. I mean, you feel like you're at home there
Oh,
in a
yes.
matter of minutes.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah.
welcomes you. The kids love you so much, and it's just such a kind of surreal that how welcoming and how much at home you feel like in this foreign country with dirt floors and you know, very little. And the kids are so happy. I mean, they have so little to play with, and they're so happy, and it's just an amazing feeling when you get there,
Yeah.
and you're just they just take you right in, and you're part of their big family.
Yes, and I'd
pretty
say
cool.
that's from the kids to all the different adults that are involved with the kids ministry there, and Humphrey, everyone that works with him or for him. Just amazing how we were just embraced and loved, and not just there, but just out in the community in different places, visiting the hospitals and the schools. And that's one thing that really impacted me the most on this trip, is just how present God is there in Chuka. And it was just refreshing for me, because I felt like there it's just part of normal everyday life to have God at school, have God at the hospitals, have doctors acknowledge God, have God and Christianity taught as part of the normal curriculum in the schools, and just your normal day-to-day conversations with different people we met there, just involved thanking God, praying to God, and it wasn't just reserved for church conversation or your Bible study group, whereas here, I feel like a lot of times in day-to-day conversations, sometimes it might be awkward, or you might be judged if you start doing God talk, and they're just so accepted and so normal, and I love that. That's why, midway through the trip, I was texting Adam saying, hey, why don't you and Amanda come on over? We got a great house, we can live here now.
So all the kids at Connection Day got, every child that's in the program got one of these t-shirts. And as you can see, it's an outline in the shape of Africa. And all the kids that are sponsored in the program, their names are on that t-shirt. And then here is where Kenya is, KCK, in the shape of a heart. So when the kids got all their shirts, they put them on, and they would turn around and they would look for their names on the back of the shirt. So that was a really neat experience for them to be able to find their name and see that on that shirt. That was really cool. I think Michelle designed that, so that was really awesome. So speaking of Connection Day, I think that one opportunity, Megan, how did you feel when you got to meet your child? Can you tell a little bit about meeting Maureen?
Yeah, well, I've been sponsoring Maureen Kawara for about 5 years. And as soon as I started sponsoring her, I was like, Mom, we need to go to Kenya. I couldn't until I was 12, and then we had to save up money. So finally I got to meet her, and when I saw her, I just wanted to cry. Like, I was so happy that I got to meet her. We spent the whole day, we spent 2 days together actually. And I just really loved it. So on the last day of our trip, we went on the safari in Nairobi, and we spent hours in this van on all these bumpy roads, seeing all these animals and all the zebras and the giraffes. And then later that day, we went to the giraffe sanctuary, and we got to see a giraffe that she sponsors, elephants that they sponsor, and we got to see them and meet them. It was really cool because we could pet them, and then we also got to kiss giraffes, and so we put the food in our mouths, and the giraffe would just come up to you. Yeah, do that.
That's quite an
It was-
interesting
yeah.
experience. I don't know if I've ever done anything quite like that before.
The craziest thing is when you leave there, you're ready to go home. Just because you're you're dirty, you want your own shower and your own bed and normal food, and you gotta
Brush
pay-
your teeth
Yes,
with real
real water.
running water instead
Yes.
of bottled water.
But you know, it's like, I really had the experience yesterday when I was working on the pictures for the sponsored children. I realized that I sat there for 2 hours and my neck's hurting, but I had a smile on my face every time I would just seeing those kids and seeing those faces, and you know, it's like, I just can't imagine never going back and not seeing those children again, because
Yeah.
they're a part of our family. It's just amazing.